Yeah, I've cracked open my case of NASCAR collectibles and diecasts for a little preview of the brand new show that's coming here to the channel in 2024, Diecast Download. This is part 2 of going through my entire NASCAR memorabilia collection right here on a very special Diecast Download, part 2.
High, push it, checker flag, hell yeah!
What's the caution for? Me?
Can I not push it in?
Stop anybody.
Come on, you guys! Way to go, boys!
One hell of a job, man. One hell of a job. Thank you so much.
I'm Alan Bailey, and before we get to the second part of all of my NASCAR collectibles, make sure that you go ahead and mash that subscribe button so that you do not miss a video in 2024. And you can go ahead and check out our second brand new gaming and esport channel, Team Chaos, right here on YouTube. The link is in the description below, and you can also log on to arnrace.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. We're going to jump right into it. If you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and check out that video before you check out this one to see all of the cool stuff that I have in my collection. Little disclaimer, I unfortunately had my storage unit broken into a couple of years ago, and that unfortunately lost a good chunk of my collection from the 90s, 2000s, and the 2010s, so I kind of had to effectively start over with my NASCAR collection a couple of years ago. My wife isn't too happy about that, my wallet isn't too happy about that, but I gotta boost that collection up a little bit. We need decorations for the studio, I'm just saying. So let's go ahead and break down what's on that shelf. You can see it's emptied out, and then we have another one to go through. So let's just get right on into it. Firstly, I do have a couple of hats in my collection. I have tons of hats, don't get me wrong, and they were part of the unfortunate casualties. I had, oh my, the better part of at least 100, 150 NASCAR hats throughout the years. And a lot of that collection came from, oh, I like that hat design, let me take that, or let me get that one, I should say. But a lot of it came from literally whenever a driver would announce a shift for the next season, towards the back end of the year, hats would go on sale for as low as $5. So the little thrifty shopper I am would be like, ooh, $5 hat, $5 hat, $5 hat, $5 hat. This one I picked up at Auto Club Speedway in 2023, the final Auto Club Speedway 2-mile race. It is the NASCAR Limited Edition 75th hat. This one's really cool because, as you can see right here, this is 1,346th of 2023 hats that were made. You could see it in that little patch right there. Yes, the tag is still on it. This is one of those, I'm going to hold on to it for the better part of my entire life. Very simplistic hat, but when I saw this kind of gold-plated diamond design and this blue and black motif with this blue right around the band, I absolutely had to have this. Another one that I have is Jamie McMurray Haviland here, and this one's still in the case that it came in, but I absolutely love this one. It's from a good bit ago. I want to say this is McMurray's 2005, actually, and you can see the kind of front end that he had on it here. I love this Dodge one as well when they came out with it in 05. It's just a very cool car, and ironically, this is the same color scheme that we use over at Team Chaos, so it's pretty cool. And the thing that's cool with these is this is plastic. I can unfold the plastic, and I can kind of take out the little twisty ties and get this car out of here. It's what I did with those cars that are up there on my main shelf, but with this one, I just ran out of space in that case, so what I did is I kept this car and my next car in there because you can kind of stack them and you have a nice little carrying case, protective case for them. It's a really cool little feature that Winter Circle came up with, and I applaud them for this one. This is actually a really cool design. I was trying to find the year, but I can't find the exact year, but I want to say it has to be either, I'm pretty sure it's 01, but it could be 02, and this is the Tony Stewart Coca-Cola Polar Bear one. You can see the polar bears there on the front end of the Home Depot Pontiac here. This had to be 01, 02, because I do not remember this running. In 03, they switched over to Chevy, I want to say. So this is something that only ran once. I cannot remember the race for the better part of me. If you remember the race that this car ran, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. But I absolutely love the Tony Stewart number 20 car. This is one of those cars that, honestly, I don't feel got as much love as it deserved back in the day, and this is just really cool to see the polar bear on the car. It's a really cool car that I was able to nab just this last year, actually. And now I'm going to get into some more of the 164ths. If you're just watching this and you haven't seen part 1, first off, go check out part 1. Second off, we're going to primarily focus on the 164ths here on the Diecast download because these are the most obtainable and they're the most affordable for people. And honestly, I'm going to kind of share these Diecasts with my niece. So let me know in the comments down below. From this point on, none of these are going to my niece. I need to be very bluntly clear on that. None of these are going to my niece. They are mine. She can fight me for them, and I can take her, probably. Probably not. I don't know. We didn't realize the significance of this car at the moment, but it's Kurt Busch's final victory. This casing is very cool. It is the Jordan Jump Car 45. I absolutely loved it. I picked it up at the Clash. They had it there, and I saw it, and I was like, I need that. I need that because Kurt is such a great guy. He's somebody who I never was a fan of growing up, admittingly. I'm the guy who saw him, and I kind of related to him a little bit more simply because he's from Vegas. I'm from SoCal, so I felt a better connection to him than guys who were out of North Carolina. But from a professional standpoint, Kurt was one of the first drivers I ever interviewed back in like 2010, I want to say, 2009 maybe, when I was first credentialed by NASCAR to cover a race out at Auto Club of all places. And because of that, because Kurt was just so welcoming and so accommodating to me as a professional, I absolutely loved interviewing him and talking with him. Hands down, he's the NASCAR Cup Series driver that I've interviewed the most on camera and on mic, and probably one of the friendliest, best people that I've ever gotten a chance to interview. So it was a must-have in my collection when I saw this. This one is kind of cool. I actually do not remember buying this one, but it appeared in my collection one day in a move, and I was like, okay, cool car. It is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s number 88 black camo car. Again, I do not remember this car. I do not remember buying this car. I just remember it appearing in my collection one day, and I wasn't mad about it because this is a really cool motif with the camo, with the black and the red stripes there. It's something that I very much would put on my gotta have list, so I'm not mad that I have this. I just, for the life of me, don't remember buying it. Everybody kind of has one of those cars, and that's definitely one of them. Now getting back into the NASCAR Authentics one, this is from 2022, wave number 10, Cole Custard with his number 41 Haas, the last year he drove this car, so far at least. I absolutely love this car, the motif. I've always loved the Haas cars. They're really good with this black and red motif. As you could tell, I kind of have a thing for black and red, so that might have been part of it. You can go ahead and see the other cars that were part of this wave when it came out, the 2012 wave number 10. The 2022 wave number 10. We do have a couple of cars from this collection as well. That number 24 Exalta Chevy, the William Byron throwback, we have in our collection as well. I'd like to get that number 48 Ally. That's a really cool one, but I haven't been able to track it down at my local Walmart and Target. Keeping an eye out for it, don't get me wrong. This one is 2023 wave number 2, Josh Berry's throwback. You can kind of see the little dude right there a little bit better. Come on. It's a little hard to focus there, but this is such a cool car. I thought that this was probably one of the more creative throwbacks that we saw in the Xfinity series in 2023. You can kind of see wave 2 for 2023, other cars right there. I'd love to get that number 7 truck, but again, it's one of those things that I haven't been able to track down at my local Walmart or Target. But it's on my list. I've gone to a few. I'm the guy who drives to like 5 different Walmarts and Targets looking for these things, and my wife is not happy about it. She's annoyed by it, but c'est la vie. A couple of other cool pieces of memorabilia that I have, and I absolutely love this. As you could tell, I'm a fan, but I've got the number 43 Chick Hicks from the movie Cars. This is from the first one. I absolutely loved this movie. It's near and dear to me. It really is. It wasn't from my childhood because I wasn't 100% a child. I was kind of a teenager when the movie came out, but I absolutely love the Cars franchise. I hope to see a 4th and 5th and 6th movie. Funny enough, and here's another one that I absolutely had to have, the fabulous Hudson Hornet with the eyes there and everything. I needed this in my collection when I saw it at my local Target, and I've had these two probably for 10-15 years now at this point. They've been in my collection. This next one is a very interesting piece of memorabilia. I did cover drag racing about 10 years ago, and I still would like to go out to them. It's just timing for me. But let me know in the comments if we should go out to some drag races out in Pomona. If you guys want to see that content on the channel, let me know in the comments down below. This one came from Miss Brittany Force. It is a clear plastic little stand, and as you can see, it has the Castrol edge. This is maybe 10 years old at this point, back when Castrol was with the team over there, and I like it just because it's so unique of having this and seeing this. It's been floating in my collection for years. They gave this to me at a media event years ago, and it's just one of those cool things that I have in my collection, and I love it. I have very few drag racing things, but this one's very cool simply because I physically got it from Brittany and from John Force Racing. They gave this to me. Now, this one is very cool, and I hope that Auto Club and NASCAR does something to this effect, but this is a piece of the original Daytona International Speedway from 59 to 2010 when they repaved it. I went down to Daytona, and I got a chance to get a tour of the facility, not when a race was happening back in 2011, right after Trevor Bayne's 500 win. It was actually that summer, I think it was. And this is a really cool piece of the track with a little engraved memorabilia thing there that says that it's from the track from 59 to 2010. Super cool. It's a good thickness too. And to me, this is a really cool piece of memorabilia. It's Daytona, man. I mean, I had to have this. And I have a couple of other pieces of memorabilia from Daytona when I was there in 2011. Haven't gone back to Daytona since. Really want to get down there for the 500 and for other races out there. It's just money. I'm here on the West Coast in Southern California. To fly out there to get a hotel room, thousands of dollars that I simply do not have with our budget, unfortunately. But this was a very, very, very cool piece of memorabilia that I got to purchase in person at the Daytona International Speedway, and it's staying in the nice little collective thing that I bought it in back in the day, and it's not going anywhere. This next piece is a very cool race victory for me. You see other content creators with these massive hoods and fenders and things like that, and I would love to get that, but again, that's hundreds of dollars, and I mean, if any race team wants to send me one, I will gladly take it off your hands, but I don't have $1,000, $500 right now to buy one of those. So something that I did purchase in the mid-2000s, and I am so glad that this stayed in my collection and that it's gone nowhere, and that is a piece of Jeff Gordon's number 24 DuPont Chevy from his Bristol 2002 victory. It is a very, very, very small piece. I'm pretty sure this is off one of the fenders, if I had to guess. I'm going to attempt to take it out of the case here. Yes, here it is. But you can just see this is off of his car, and it's super tiny. It's about the size of my palm. But I don't care. To me, this is a part of his car. This is a part of a winning car. You can see the amount of Bondo on this thing. It's just insane. There's a very good thick layer of Bondo on this thing, and it's a little beat up in every conceivable way, but it is a part of my NASCAR collection. It barely fits in this little sleeve thing that I have for it. Come on, I believe in you, piece. You can get in there. It's barely getting in, but it got in, barely. But I absolutely love the fact that this is part of my collection. It's one of my favorite pieces that I have because I remember watching this race as a kid, and I remember going absolutely bonkers for that bump and run on Rusty Wallace in the closing laps. So darn cool, and it was a long win streak that Gordon had broken with that one. It was so cool, and that's a really cool piece of memorabilia in my collection. And now we have made it to the last shelf of my collection, and there's a lot of personal history here. Starting off with kind of the big, obvious, badass one, we have Mr. Lightning McQueen. This one is from, it's from Cars 2. It has the World Grand Prix, and it's actually a popcorn bucket from Disney. Yeah, apparently that's supposed to fit a decent amount of popcorn. There's still some kernel seeds in there. Yuck. But it is the Cars 2 with the World Grand Prix there. I picked this up at Disneyland. in Disney's California Adventure when this movie dropped. It's just a cool thing, man. I saw this and I was like, yes, I have to have Lightning. It's going to stay in my collection. It's Lightning McQueen. You need him in your collection. I just had to check the date on this. This is back from 2015. From when I was really covering Supercross very heavily. Ryan Dungey picked up the championship, and when he did, Wheaties went ahead and put him on the cover. It was the first time that a Supercross rider had been on the cover of a Wheaties box in quite some time, and it's very cool. There's a little thing on the back. It is unopened, and it'll stay unopened. I actually had a couple boxes of this in my collection, and literally one day I was like, yeah, I'm gonna break that open and I'm gonna eat one. And I did. It was a little stale, I'll leave it at that, but I still have one of these. They gave it to us at a press event, and I've held on to it just because it's so darn cool to see an athlete on the cover of a Wheaties box. Stuff like this helps to really get to a younger audience, and I think that NASCAR needs to benefit from this, and it's really cool that I still have this in my collection. Another piece of non-NASCAR memorabilia that I have, because you just have to, the DeLorean, the Back to the Future DeLorean. This is from Back to the Future 1 with the giant pole attached. Yes, it's removable. And yes, the wing doors open and you can look in there and it has all the flux capacitor stuff and everything. A college buddy of mine's father actually does own a screen accurate DeLorean time machine, and I was lucky enough to get to sit in it, get to ride in it. And let me tell you, it's not as luxurious as you would think. I mean, I don't want to say it was a disappointment, but it was kind of like, it's a car from the mid-'80s that really wasn't that great of a car, and if not for this movie, it probably would have died off in movie lore decades ago. And it's a very cool experience, don't get me wrong. It's very much one of those adult toys that you can purchase, but it was just so darn cool to sit in that thing, and that's definitely I got to do that thing last year, sitting in a DeLorean, and no, we didn't get it up to 88, unfortunately, but it was still so damn cool to do it. So you know how from time to time you go over to people's houses and there's like a bowl of mixed nuts or mixed candy or something like that? This started out as a joke and it evolved and it got too out of hand. I can literally say, I have a bowl of mixed nuts. Would you like one? These are literally lug nuts that came from people at Goodyear that I have befriended, from NASCAR crew members who I've always asked for permission. Don't just take these from pit road or from a race team, especially during a race, but these have come literally either from the garbage for not being able to be used for one reason or another, or from NASCAR crew members. And I like it because you can see literally there is still gunk and goo taped on these. Some of them are painted neon pink so that they're visible. Some are worn down, and some have so much rubber and cake buildup on them they're almost unrecognizable. I mean, look at that. That's a lot. I stopped this collection for obvious reasons. This is something that's still in my collection. And yes, I did make this bowl in college in ceramics. So that's a personal bit of history. That's really heavy, by the way. Back to the 164th cars. We have a couple more here. This is from 2022, wave number 6. I like the car. The driver, it's the number 42, Mr. Ty Dillon. I love this game car. I think it's absolutely brilliant that they did this at Bristol Dirt. I absolutely love the car. I love that I was able to find it. It was one of those spur-of-the-moment things. And honestly, this literal car, re-sparked my love of collecting diecasts and of 164th cars. I never really started collecting them until they started showing up in my local Target and Walmart, and I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I refound this collection. You can see this is Wave 6, part of Wave 6 2022. There's the cars from Wave 6. You can collect them all now. This one is from 2022, also from Wave number 6. It's Mr. Kyle Larson's number 5 Valvoline Chevy that he ran. And again, I something about this car, I absolutely love the design of it. The red motif on there, you can see, again, the rest of the cars from that collection. But I absolutely love this one. I love the use of white and red with the logos there. They definitely maximized the exposure, and they kept that Valvoline V logo the way that they should have. I thought it would have been cooler just to see Valvoline along the wheel well and along that door and that panel there. But again, you're keeping with this traditional Valvoline circular logo on the side of the car there, which is pretty darn cool as well. So very good car. I loved how it just stood out with that red. Let me know what you think in the comments. What are some of your personal favorites from my collection for part number 2? This is something that we're going to do maybe once or twice a month, depending on how many of these diecasts we get and how much you guys like these videos. If you guys blow these videos up and you share them and there's tons of response to it, we'll do it a couple times a month. If we only get a handful of views, we'll do it once a month. But I will leave it up to you guys from this video on in the comments which one of these 1/64ths should we collect and keep in our collection here, and which ones should get sent to my niece for opening up and being part of her collection. Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, go ahead and mash that subscribe button so that you do not miss a video throughout 2024. And you can also go ahead and mash that subscribe button on our brand new second gaming and esport channel, Team Chaos. The link is in the description below. And you can log on to arnrace.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. I want to thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little diecast download preview of what's to come in 2024. I'm very excited about it, man. I'm looking forward to collecting these cars and going out to my Walmart and my Target and trying to find these 1/64th cars and trying to decide which ones do I keep in their original packaging and which ones do I give to my niece in order to rip open and be part of her Hot Wheels toy set. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But for Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see you at the track.